the most successful franchise like no other ever was. Pokemon is the highest grossing intellectual property in the world, and for good reason. I mean, Pokemon is everywhere, and everyone knows about it. Even parents who call them all Pikachu, or elementary school principals who had to ban Pokemon cards because they'd start actual fights. But even 3 decades after the original Pokemania, the franchise shows no signs of slowing down. So today, I want to discuss how Pokemon has bridged the generational gap and maintained its relevance in our lives. So, it's honestly a simple formula for Pokemon. The franchise is easily accessible and leaves a lasting impact. Alright guys, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Peace out. You can get into Pokemon with little to no investment between the games, cards, anime, and various mobile apps. And with over 1,000 distinct creatures, you're bound to like at least one of them. You don't have to like video games or have a console to at least know about Pokemon. I'm one of the youngest people at my job, and many of my coworkers are not gamers, but almost all of them not only know what Pokemon is, but have a favorite one. And yes, I have a job outside of YouTube. I don't just live inside your phone. Besides, have you seen my upload schedule? I've got bills to pay. Anyways, the accessibility of the franchise is a major reason why it's so successful. You can play some games for free, spend a few dollars on trading cards, or make a big commitment and buy a full game. You also don't need any prior knowledge. You can just pick up and play. And in case you don't believe me, just remember the summer of Pokemon Go. Everyone and their grandma was playing the game. We even got my dad in on it, and he still plays to this day. But it goes deeper than accessibility. It's all about the experience. In many Pokemon games, you go on your own adventure. And even though the story beats are the same as everyone else's playthrough, it still manages to be your unique experience. I first got into Pokemon through the TCG. I got a Darkrai card in my first ever pack, and I was hooked. But I quickly turned to the video games and got Pokemon Platinum. There, I picked a cute little penguin to be my starter, and began my journey. And it was a long journey. I was still in elementary school at the time, so I didn't really know what I was doing. But it was still fun. I caught way too many Bidoofs, I didn't know how type matchups worked, and I named my female Scyther after my brother, not realizing it was a girl. But it was still my adventure. The Pokemon I caught were unique to me. The trials I went through added to the lore of this journey. It's a playthrough I did over 15 years ago, and I still remember so many details about it. Like losing to Gardenia 10 times, repeatedly checking in at Sunyshore City, hoping the power outage would just mysteriously disappear, losing to Cynthia on my first try, but then coming back and beating her on my second attempt. It all stuck with me, and that's the magic of Pokemon. Even playing through a game I think is objectively bad, Shining Pearl, I still had so much fun building my team and playing through the Sinnoh region again. Each journey leaves a lasting impact on you with the Pokemon you use, and I've got a quick story time to really sell this point. Let me explain. After I became the champion on my first Platinum playthrough, I started experimenting with an action replay. And because I was still a dumb kid, I managed to use a walkthrough walls cheat to get stuck in the void. My game was effectively soft-locked. Luckily, I had transferred some of my Pokemon up to the 5th generation beforehand, but the most important one was left marooned in my busted save. My very first Pokemon, my starter, Empoleon. It was in the daycare, and there was nothing I can do about it. I tried everything to fix my game and rescue Empoleon, but nothing worked. So for years, my cartridge lay dormant, serving as a cruel reminder that cheaters never prosper. I refused to wipe my save because it would get rid of Empoleon. I even bought another copy of the game just so I could keep the little penguin alive, in the hopes that one day I could save him. Fast forward 10 years now, I'm in college. Home for break, I go looking for my old game. And when I find it, I get to researching. Turns out, someone had a similar issue and made a forum post asking for help. And a few months earlier, someone responded, unknowingly giving me the key to save my starter. A new action replay code that could teleport you out of the void. And it worked. A decade of sorrow ended with a reunion. It may sound dumb to get so attached to a digital creature, but that's the power of Pokemon. These video game creatures feel like actual companions that you build a relationship with. And you bet I transferred my Empoleon up into Pokemon Home so he'll never be trapped again. I also briefly want to talk about shiny Pokemon and my experience with them. Back in the day, I was playing Soul Silver and got a fateful encounter. We were taking a family vacation to the Jersey Shore when I met with shiny Quagsire. Thankfully, I knew what shinies were and I knew to catch it. And I hope it comes as no surprise that Quagsire became one of my favorite Pokemon because of this full odds random encounter. It's even the namesake for my channel. And now I have my 2 favorite Pokemon sitting on my desk next to me as I work on this video. Side tangent, when Clodsire was revealed, I told myself I was going to shiny hunt it for Gen 9, and you can find Paldean Wooper really early on. So I spent 20 hours in the tutorial shiny hunting to get the blue Clod. I got a bunch of blue ducks first, but eventually got it. All because I wanted to match my shiny Quagsire I had gotten over 10 years earlier. So viewer, I bring all this up to say, the power of Pokemon is the ability to make you connect with the franchise. You feel a bond with your Pokemon and a true sense of adventure because your journey is unique. It's also why animatics, Nuzlocke, and other challenge runs have become so popular. It's all about the story and the Pokemon that help tell it. The final piece I want to talk about is the competitive side of Pokemon and how it's balanced with the casual side. When playing through the regular story, you don't need to know anything about metagames, EVs and IVs, or status moves. You can just overlevel and win. Or, if you're more of a collector, you can get all the cards without having to battle. But if you choose to go deeper, competitive Pokemon is really rewarding. Learning what sets work, what Pokemon synergize with each other, or a risky move paying off is amazing. The franchise doesn't penalize you for having a surface level knowledge, but rewards you for having a deeper understanding on how Pokemon works. In conclusion, this franchise does a lot to stay in the cultural zeitgeist. You see Pokemon everywhere, in stores, on TV, on your phone, and even in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. It's also really easy to get involved with the franchise, whether it's through the apps, cards, shows, or games. And once you finally give Pokemon a shot, it keeps you interested by endearing you to its different creatures and giving you an adventure to remember. Pokemon games are broken down into generations, but as the franchise continues on, it has crossed a literal generational gap. Parents who grew up playing Pokemon have the chance to share it with their kids, or in my case, I get the chance to share it with my dad. There have been franchises with a similar premise, but none of them have managed to dethrone Pokemon, because none of them do it like Pokemon does. Like every trainer, like every Pokemon, and like every adventure, this franchise is one of a kind. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you've been able to enjoy Pokemon as much as I have. What are some of your favorite memories with the franchise? Comment down below. Or just talk about what your favorite Pokemon is. If you want to see more video game content from me, click on the world record history video I made. That's on screen now. Or if you want to see some film analysis, that's on your screen as well. Just like youngster Joey's Rattata, my content is in the top percentage.